What is up, nerds? We had one hell of a drop from Erik's Curiosa today. Tons of spoilers, the box art, pre-con art, the Gothic logo. Let's dive in together and take a look at everything, and I'll save the spoilers for last for the people that don't want to see them, but they will be the largest part of this video. First, let's look at the box. It's purple, and I like that. You'll also notice that it has 36 booster packs in the box. On Team Covenant's website, they are listed at $166.60, and you will get a foil skeleton token, which is an alternate art. I don't know if the price is the actual price. I would assume so, right? But it's just kind of funny that there's 666 is in the price tag. Next, we have the box of precons coming in. The avatars are labeled the Prophets of Doom. These are the boxes of each avatar. They have been confirmed to be dual element decks, and they will have 36 cards in the spellbook and 16 cards in the atlas. They are priced at $66.60 on Team Covenant's website, again having 666 in the price. Let's look at the images on the box. We know the Necromancer, and the next box is the Persecutor. Reminds me heavily of Bloodborne and the Demon Hunter from Diablo 3. The third box is the Harbinger. I truly wish I knew the effect on this card because I have a feeling that it's going to be sick. And the last box is the Savior. Interesting considering they are the Prophets of Doom, and he looks angelic. Spoiler, mute me for 5 seconds, I'll leave a counter on the screen. We do know that there are angels in the set, and you'll see one of them spoiled later on in the video. Another fun thing for these avatars is they will all have alternate arts, the precons having one art and the boxes will have another. Lastly, before we get into the spoiled cards, we have the Sorcery and Gothic logo, very sick looking details in the lettering. I'll give you a second to look through it and pause the video if you want to look at all the details. Okay, now it's time for the spoilers, and the first card I teased in the thumbnail is Demonic Contract. We got a tutor, boys. We got a tutor. And probably the wildest thing about the card is that it is an elite, so we get to have 2 of them, which is nice. But there is a catch. In the fine print, puns, is that you can only grab a card of rarity equal to or lower to a demon you control. But you also have to pay 4 life or sack a coin, egg, gem, goat, rune, treasure, or mortal soul. Another small detail I love is that the elite magic is flushed with the side of the text box. Very cute detail. This next one I'm going to clump 3 together. I'm willing to bet these are all precon cards because they are very classic undead effects / feelings to them. And that's Open Mausoleum, Open Grave, and Newsome Twosome. You should look up the definition for Newsome, it's pretty funny. All very easy ways to get skeletons out. Along with the Necromancer avatar, you'll be pumping out little guys, or you could use this next card to get some heavy hitters out. Monster Morphosis for 3 mana, 2 water threshold, and it's an exceptional magic that has you disable a target minion at the start of your turn. You may transform it into a monster from your hand or a horrible hybrid from your collection. Along with just sacking your little guys to get a bigger one, you seem to be able to target enemy minions, which could be fun. We don't know what a horrible hybrid is yet, unfortunately. We already have some pretty insane monsters in the card pool, so I can see this card seeing play. This one seems like a pretty defensive card. Low threshold and is a 4/4. Bound Spirit is disabled unless next to an allied spellcaster. Kind of vanilla, but a spoiler is a spoiler, you know what I mean? The next monster seems to be a Please God Save Me card. It must be cast submerged, but costs 1 less for every enemy in the body of water. Originally costing 6, you might be able to do some nasty offensive plays if you manage to use Monster Morphosis into Great Old One and auto put all of the enemies into your body of water. A new artist of sorcery, Juan, has some skills. I love the art of Shackled Demon, a 4/5 and only a single threshold, an elite demon that's disabled until an adjacent spellcaster taps to release him. A very easy cost, turn 3 Apprentice Wizard and a turn 4 Shackled Demon. Boom baby, you're scary as hell. I wouldn't be so enthusiastic about this card normally. Gravedigger, a cool 2/2, allows you to burrow an undead when he comes into play. Seems very situational, but we do have other new undead cards. Entombed, a 2/3 comes in burrowed, but you could potentially use Gravedigger to put him back underground if needed. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were more undead that have burrowing in the set that you can use Gravedigger on to skip wasting a turn to burrow a creature. Maybe. I don't know if that's a good play, but it's a play. Ravenous Werewolf has a steep price to pay, a 5 for 3, but has charge and +1 movement. Not too sure how I feel about this. Yes, charge is very strong, but the hippogriffs are cheaper, have airborne, which is kind of like +1 movement, not really. But yeah, I could see this being very surprising to opponent, but the cost is a lot, and it's likely the only thing you're going to be playing that turn. Now, something everyone is probably excited about, the counter to Ring of Morgan, a site that is only an exceptional River of Blood. Now, I don't know if these suckers stack, but 1 is enough to shut down Ring of Morgan. Half of 1 is 0.5. Rounded down means go fuck yourself. And it still provides a threshold, which is fucking wild. It would have been a runnable card without it, but shit, I'll take it. This next one, you can just be a total asshole and blink these bitches around to your opponent's sites and burrow them. A 1 for 1 and a single threshold on top of being an ordinary. I could see this being some cheap, easy damage, and sometimes that's all it takes. A few extra damage can help you win the game. Defiler Spire is just fun to say. Go ahead, say it. Pause the video. Let's just Defiler Spire. Come on. Not only is it fun to say, the art is pretty sick. Really dig the art. It gives me some hatchery vibes. I like that. This card combined with the summoning undead cards or anything that summons multiple can get out of control really fast, and the only downside is that it has to be evil minions and they have to be on your opponent's sides. So like there's potential to screw yourself over with this card. It's not an auto win by any means, and if you're using it, it's probably a win more card and you're already ahead. So take what I say with a grain of salt. We're getting more of this theme where a spellcaster from the fire element can only cast fire spells. We've got a few of these in the other sets. Flaming Skull looks like a pretty sick tattoo, in all honesty. It is pretty loaded being a spellcaster with airborne and still has even cost with its power at 1 threshold as well. Is not bad at all. A flying spellcaster is pretty scary. We have a very interesting card with Mudslide, a site with a wild effect. Limited by where you can play it might make it a hit or a miss, but allowing you to push all units in a column just might open up the enemy for 1 heavy hit. I'm surprised there's no dead nurse hiding in the art somewhere on this card. Silent Hills silences all minions atop nearby sites until your next turn. If played in a certain order, you can do what you want to do, play the site, and then hold off your enemy minions from using their effects. Seems like a fun site. Maybe we'll see some crazy play with it. I'm not 100% sure. Nearby is a huge radius, especially when it also affects your own creatures. So I'm not 100% on this card. I'll never not glaze Jesse. I love his art. I've said it before, and I don't even care about the color green at all. It's not one of my favorite colors, but the way he uses it is perfect every time. I love the way he uses green. A mortal with even stats to cost tells us something we don't really know what it is yet, and you can steal a nearby ward. Anyone have guesses on what a ward could be? Comment down below, and let's have a conversation about that. My kind of card, throwing cards into the cemetery for future use. The rats might not be strong, but if you happen to discard a demon using it, it would help out this next card a lot. Red Mane Hyena, another Jesse card, 2 for 2, 1 threshold. When played, you get to pick 3 cards from either cemetery, and if 1 is a demon, Red Mane becomes a demon and gains +2 power. This card is strong as fuck. The potential to be 4 for 2 and gives you the chance to get rid of something important from your opponent's cemetery. This card slaps. Gnarled Wendigo is an interesting depiction of a Wendigo. 6 for 5, a single threshold, and costs 2 less for every minion you sack at its summoning the site. Now I don't want to assume too much because my mind goes straight to the most OP outcome, but it does not say you have to sacrifice your own creatures. I'm just saying, but even if that's not the case, this is another creature Tadpole Pool automatically summons. I know I just said I like throwing my own creatures into the cemetery, but this card costs 5 for 4 and will smack your avatar unless you discard a card. I'm not 100% on this card at all. With those stats, along with having to get rid of a card, I just don't think it's worth it. Tell me what you guys think. That's kind of a steep cost. Not only is this card cracked, the art is awesome. 2 for 1 spellcaster, and when played, you can cast an ordinary spell from the cemetery. Then you have to banish the spell. There are currently 40 spells in the sets we currently have right now that are ordinary, which only happens to be the most cracked cards in the game. Come on now. Ordinary spells are some of the best effects we have. You've got Common Sense, Bury, Blink, Firebolt, Minor Explosion, Tactical Move, and the list will only get longer with Gothic. This card is pretty sick. I wish I knew what Desecrated Ground was, because I bet this card might be a mean one. I'm pretty sure this could be on an enemy site and allow you to tap it twice. And by tap, I mean hit them with the blat blat, you know what I'm saying? Just pow pow. And then make something else, whatever the something else is. Desecrated Ground. Have no idea what that effect is, but I'm eager to find out. It's hard for me to see this card is good. I want to say I know how to pronounce this. I know the last one's Ifrit, but Mazja, or if it's silent, I'm not sure. We're just going to call it Ifrit. It does have more power than its cost, but it doesn't have charge. It's also an elite and needs 2 threshold. You will take damage from it before you get to deal any, and you don't end up dealing more damage to the enemy until the 3rd turn it's on the board. The first one, you don't get to attack, you take 2. Second turn, you get to attack, but then you take 2 more, making it even. And then on the 3rd turn, you finally get to break out of it, but you've still taken 6 damage and only dealt 8 with it. And that's if it survives that long. I really don't know about this card. Maybe there's something in the deck that nullifies damage to yourself from your own cards. We'll see. But knowing what we know now, I don't really care for this one. Next up, the quick fix that sticks. It's Crucifix. An elite 3 cost returns all evil at a location to the owner's hand, and evil can't enter this site. I really like the art, and in a pinch, it could be a big pain in the ass, and maybe you could use it on your own stuff to put it back in your hand. I'd have to see more cards to think more about this one, but I do like the art. A 3 for 3 and a single earth threshold crawler can't be hit by projectiles. This seems like a pretty alright card. You could accidentally leave your avatar open, but look at his face. It says, ugh, what the fuck is that? As if he's not the fucking disgusting creature crawling around on all 4s.
Oh, the beast is demonic in nature. Very icky, no good.
This art fucking slaps. I know Melissa Benson is an amazing artist. I know that. But the art on this card hits different for me. The face is just creepy, and the red on the hands is so vibrant, and overall the old school feel and look of the card just lands for me. But is it playable? I don't know. It's pretty expensive, and you'll have to get it into position, then pop its effect. I'm just not sure what creatures you would have to seal team 6 with this card where you'd be like, yeah, I gotta play this. Next up, Sphinx's Sarcophagus is a pretty cool sight, banishing 2 identical spells, then you get to draw a card, and that's pretty good. But if you're stuck with it after a mulligan, or if you draw it within the first couple draws of your sites, it could be a little painful. I really like the sites with perma effects. The fields of, I want to say, psychics, fields of shit, man. Don't eat me alive. This site silences the site in front of it. And I mean, it really could be pretty effective. It just depends on what you get your hands on. You know, the positioning of sites is always crazy in sorcery. So this card might not be able to do anything, or the way you've played your lands, you accidentally screw yourself and you can't use it. That doesn't seem highly likely, but it's a possibility. But permanently silencing something that could be pretty important for the enemy is pretty good. And if you were to play it first, you could wait a minute. But now that I think about it, would So silence makes it like the text didn't exist, but the threshold would still count, right? So if you played this by Color Out of Space or Paradise, would it remove the negative effect from that site and allow you to keep all 4 threshold regardless? Or if you were to use it on any of the 4 tri-lands, tri-sites, I suppose I should call them, would that take off the need to use them not on the back row, and then you would still get the 3 threshold? It seems like a pretty interesting thing. That's another thing we can talk about in the comments. If you've made it this far, let's talk to me about these cards. Share your knowledge with me and the way you think. I like that shit. The only way we grow is to accept other people's opinions and gain the knowledge from others, bro. We never gonna make it on our own, you know what I mean? Next card, Road to Perdition is an okay site. I like the flexibility of it, but you can only get to choose a single evil card. You get to buff or debuff it by 1. I don't know if it's super effective, but like it could do something. It's just that there are far better sites in the game than this, sadly. This one's wording y'all are gonna have to help me out with because I'm not 100% sure. It's the what is it called? Babylon. I seem to have not written the name down in the script. Give me 1 second. Yeah, the base of Babel. And so if you read it, it doesn't say Genesis, you may build the Tower of Babel by playing the Apex, right? It says you may play the Apex to build the Tower of Babel, right? So I don't know if this is suggesting that after playing it, you can immediately play the Apex on top of it, just giving you 2 lands in 1 site in 1 go, right? Because Imperial Road, it says Genesis, so I don't really know about this card because I don't think we know what the top half does. So we can't really say what it does, and I bet the top half has the actual effect of the card. And it's probably nasty if you have to sit there and plan out 2 sites in advance. It probably slaps. It is an exceptional site, so you do get to have multiple copies of each bottom and top, so it doesn't seem like super difficult to get it out. If it were unique, I don't even know if it'd be playable at all, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see what it actually does. Beautiful card though. Next up, we got a vanilla 7/7, 7/4/7. A slug is a slug, a big slug, an angry slug. Oh my god, the art is so fucking good on this card. The fact that someone made this with their hands is insane. It looks fantastic. A 2 for 2 with burrowing that you can sack a token and play him from your cemetery. When I think about cards like this, it's a nice swing, right? Where we attack with the little guy, and then we're like, okay, you're useless. Boot him out, sack him, get Big Brother onto the field, and then, yeah, this card has a place in my heart. Not only is the art beautiful, this is a very great archetype in my mind. I love zombies, sacking, yada yada. Yeah, I like this card. This might actually take my favorite art in the set. Maybe that one land is super pretty. I think it's called City of Glass or whatever. That card is beautiful. This card is kind of nasty with its flexibility. You can draw 2 and then eat the damage, but I think this card is also an auto kill for the enemy avatar. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. You can force the enemy to draw and then they take damage if they're on death's door. It's a great way to get around the craziness of trying to positioning and getting on top of them. And I mean, like, that's pretty good. There's not, this might be the first card that just allows you to auto fucking be like, no, the game's over. Let me know if I'm wrong though. Not to mention the card is just good overall, even if you have to use it on yourself and draw 2 to take some damage. Like in a rush deck where most of your cards are probably 1 to 3 mana, for 2 card draw is pretty nasty. And I mean, you gotta have 2 threshold, but generally if you're playing some kind of rush deck, you're probably mono, and it's 3 mana. And you might not want to interrupt your pacing, but I think this is a pretty solid card. This next card might have some crazy things you can do with it. 4 for 0, but every turn you get to banish a card from a cemetery and become it. This could become a Pudge Butcher for a nice surprise, maybe a Death Dealer. I don't know if that counts as entering the realm. I'm pretty sure it does, but you could death dealer the board for a second time, which is a pretty sick move. It could be your enemy's death dealer to fucking flip the board back in your favor. Let me know what you think about this bad boy. I like the art too. It's kind of creepy, kind of interesting. Like, where's your mind at when you make something like that? It's pretty nice. Ah, yes. The angel I promised at the start of the video. Archangel Samuel. 5 cost for 4 power and requires 4 fire threshold. But when played, blows up anyone that dares to play evil. Whether they're on the field or in your cemetery, you take 1 damage for each. Not only is the card beautiful, it has a huge timer for a deck that completely resolves around playing evil. Next up, All Mortal Gone is honestly a shit name. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a negative Nancy, but I would have called it No Man's Land or something like that. All Mortals Gone is just, it's not a good name. 3 mana, kills all mortals, which is pretty fucking cheap. And if you're playing mortals, brother, you're fucking dead. Basically the flying counterpart to the worms earlier in the video, with the sick art, of course. It's Jesse. 1 for 1, deal damage to a site you're flying over. It's pretty gross. I hope everyone's ready for a deck that has worms and the kites in it, and they're just gonna fucking rush you, and you're just gonna be getting pinged for damage over and over again. Ah, yes, Drew Tucker. His art is just iconic. You see that shit and you just know it's him immediately. With a lethal minion, no less. A 2 for 2, a single threshold, vanilla, but you always gotta fear a lethal minion. This card is just kind of sick. We already have 3 instruments and now we have a ton of undead. This might become the best way to draw cards. It is 5 mana, Grandmaster is 6, and Grandmaster might get you 3 cards, no questions asked. But this card affects nearby. If whatever caster is surrounded by undead, you have instruments to play. I'm going to imagine the set has instruments, a bone flute perhaps, just saying. And who knows, further down the road there'll probably be more instruments. And I'm just pretty positive that this card will not be hard to, that it's gonna perform. It's gonna perform. Yeah, another pun. I know. I did it. I did that to you just now. Plus, the art is awesome. I just mean, look how happy that skeleton is playing the tambourine. I love that. I love that little guy. This next card is pretty loaded. For a 3 cost for 3 power with burrowing and void walk. Void walk is a cracked stat. Like, I don't give a shit what anyone says. Void walk is really good. They're also giants, which means they're going to synergize with Boulder Boar and Redbecks. Getting more and more giants. Eventually we're going to see a giant deck, and it's gonna clap cheeks someday, I promise. So that's all for the ones that we can read, and I do have a few that were in the background of the video, and you can't really read it. You can see the art, we can see a few words. If you just want to take a look at them for a second, we're going to play that for a little bit. Well guys, that was a long one, but I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. And please, I never ask, subscribe, or I'll like shit myself or something. I swear to God, I'll do a poopy. I'm 2 subscribers away from 500, and that makes me pretty happy. I'm glad you guys enjoy the content. I'm glad if I make you laugh. I hope you enjoy it. I know some people aren't so nice, but I don't really give a fuck what other people think about my content. If you enjoy it, that's what's up. I'm just here to entertain. I'm here to bring new, hopefully make you smile a little bit, and that's really just the goal, you know? Spread some happiness. I'm so sick of the negativity in the world, you know? So I'm glad I get to bring a little bit of light to someone's day. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.